Hello Magic fans, I'm Beef and welcome back to another standard gameplay video, and today we are playing what I am calling Basic Demons, and I'm calling it Basic Demons because there is another deck I'll be doing in a week or so with a bit more, not advanced, but more expensive cards using Arden, one of the new cards from Final Fantasy, which has some graveyard shenanigans and demon related things. But this one is basic because it's a bit cheaper and it's more of the just get out demons and trigger your Unholy Annex. So what is Unholy Annex? This is a card from Dustmourn. It's a room card. We generally play on the Unholy Annex side first, Ritual Chamber is the other side. 3 mana, enchantment, room obviously. It says beginning of your end step, draw a card. If you control a demon, each opponent loses 2 life, you gain 2 life. Otherwise, you lose 2 life. And then Ritual Chamber is you create a 6/6 demon. So there was actually a good demon from Tarkir Dragonstorm, but I didn't actually replay the deck during that. And that was Rot-Cursed Rakshasa. It's a 2 mana 5/5 trample decayed. Decayed means you attack, it can't block, and you sacrifice at the end of combat. Not at the end of your turn, right at the end of combat. And then it has Renew, which is a mechanic from Tarkir Dragonstorm. We can pay X and 2 black. Exile this card from the graveyard, put a decay counter on X target creatures, activate only as a sorcery. And the idea is you put this on our opponent's creatures so they can't block, and when they attack, they die. But because it's a 2 mana demon, it occurs really well into Unholy Annex. So ideally you want a 2 mana Rakshasa and then, turn 2 Rakshasa, turn 3 Unholy Annex. And the other new demon card from Final Fantasy is Demon Wall, which is from Final Fantasy 14. It's also from Final Fantasy 7, which I think might be more well known, but whatever. It's a 2 mana 3/3 Defender and Menace. It says as long as it has a counter on it, it can attack as though it didn't have Defender, and we can pay 6 to put 2+1/+1 counters on it, so then it can attack as a 5/5. And again, it's a 2 mana creature, so it occurs really well into Unholy Annex. And rounding out with the demons, we have 4 copies of Archfiend of the Dross. 4 mana 6/6 with flying, enters with 4 aura counters on it. Beginning of our upkeep, we remove an aura counter, then if it has no aura counters on it, we lose the game. So there is a clock for us and our opponent. And then it has when a creature an opponent control dies, its controller loses 2 life. So the idea, we want to get this down and just start smashing in. And then we do have 2 copies of the Speed Demon from Aether Drift, a 5 mana 5/5 flying trample. It has start your engines, which means when we play it, if we don't have any speed, which we won't, we have 1 speed. Then for the first time on our turn, when an opponent loses a life, we speed goes up. And then max speed of 4. And it's one of a few cards that has interaction with speed that isn't max speed. And it says beginning of an end step, we draw X cards and lose X life, where X is our speed. So the floor is we draw a card and lose 1 life, but obviously the ceiling is we draw 4 cards and lose 4 life, which can be quite dangerous. And then so basically rounding out the deck, we have 4 copies of Sheoldred, which is a really powerful card anyway, but seeing as Unholy Annex and Speed Demon causes to draw cards and potentially lose life, Sheoldred can really help us gain back that life. Then 4 copies of Kasi Revenant, which is just a good card from Tarkir Dragonstorm. 3 mana 3/3 flying Death Touch lifelink. It's basically the beefed up Vampire Nighthawk, and it also has Renew. We can pay 3, exile a card from a graveyard, pay flying counter, a death touch counter, and a lifelink counter on target creature, activate as a sorcery. So that's each of them. So if we put those on a demon wall, it can now attack because it has a counter on it. Might not be the best one to put it on. We might want to put it on the Speed Demon so that it has a lifelink to offset the life loss, but also maybe on Sheoldred and even on Archfiend of the Dross if we really need to. Then we just have removal, 4 cut down, 4 go for the throat, and 2 Virtue of Persistences. This deck can go quite long, so playing the Virtue out for 7 is not unheard of. Mana base, Swamp, 18 Swamps, 4 Cavern of Souls on Demon, or if we draw 2, probably put 1 on Praetor. And then we do have 2 Midgar City of Makos, which end as tapped and taps for black, but we can play the Reactor Raid as a sorcery, which is a shame as a sorcery, so we can sack an artifact or a creature if we do draw 2 cards. So we might want to sack a Demon Wall or even a Rot-Cursed Rakshasa, and that's why it's a bit frustrating that it's not an instant and or the Decayed sacrifice at the end of combat, otherwise we could attack and then sack it to Reactor Raid, but you can't really do that. Or maybe we want to sack a Revenant because we want to get into our graveyard for a Renew. So that's the deck. It is powerful. The Demon deck has always been reasonably powerful. We played it 2 sets ago, I think. We played it in a mirror version, so blue-black. This is just a straight-up mono-black. And I said there is a other version with Arden. It was an 8 mana 4/4 demons. We can try Menace, Lifelink, and Haste, and begin with combat on our turn. X up to 1 target creature card from a graveyard. If exiled a card this way, we create a token of it. That's a 5/5 demon, which will obviously have all those keywords: Menace, Lifelink, and Haste. And the idea is we get Arden into our graveyard, we reanimate it with Zombify, then we get other cards into our graveyard, which we bring back as demons. and that obviously triggers the Unholy Annex, but obviously it doesn't matter if the card is a demon because it turns it into a demon. So look out for that deck in a week or two. But in the meantime, I'd like to give a shout out to my Planeswalker level patrons. They are Mihal, Arcadius, and Adrian. Thank you very much for your support. Like everyone, I thank you for your support as well. Please remember to like and subscribe and share it with some of your friends if they like Magic. Send them my way. Please leave a comment down in the description. It really helps with the algorithm. But in the meantime, I'll see you all live in gameplay. We go first. No demon, but plenty of removal. And Shouldered can stem the tide. We're up against. Okay. Don't see Cheeky House Mouse that often. Manifold Mouse? And we'll take out the Manifold Mouse because that is a lot more dangerous than just the Cheeky House Mouse. So I hope they don't have another one. Well, there is a demon we can play out. We can play that out and hold up Go for the Throat. Are they here to play? Yeah, so the problem with that is, for us, if we take out the House Mouse, we don't get... We'll get it back, but nothing will be unlocked. We'll do this. They missed a land drop, and we can pay for the ward, and it gains us some life. So we get it back, but no room's unlocked, which is very irritating. If we draw land, we can unlock Unholy Annex again and play out the Rakshasa. We'll play out the Demon Wall then and just hold up Go for the Throat. Because if they try and Shelter by Ghosts again, and then we can turn on the Unholy Annex next turn. Hopefully our Demon Wall survives. Success. And we have another cut down in case they play out another creature we want to remove. Probably should have waited to take that with Virtual Persistence, but it doesn't really matter. And let's get out our Rakshasa. And there's one of our finishers, the Archfiend. Although next turn we may just unlock the Ritual Chamber. Depends what they play. If they play out a creature, we'll probably play out the Archfiend and then attack with the Rakshasa. Because if they block, we will drain them for 2 with the Archfiend. Oh, Mabel. Attacking. I imagine they don't know. There's another removal spell. So this is a full up mouse deck. Oh, I don't mind blocking with the Archfiend if it comes to that. That is less good. Well, we have 6 mana. That looks like a shouldered turn to me. They're down to 6. They're down to 4. They're down to 2 with Go for the Throat. And actually down to 0 with Shouldered. As soon as you get priority. I'd have to remove Archfiend. Goodbye. They might have a Shard Mage's Rescue. But I don't think that's going to do it. Oh, they do have Shard Mage's Rescue. I mean, we can take 10 quite easily. And yeah, well, their turn, they draw a card, they die, we cut down, they die, we attack with our flying 6/6, they die. Well, 2 tap lands. No 2 mana demons. Do we assume we're going to find a 3rd land? For quality, well, we need, yeah. We'll find more land once we get down the Unholy Annex. Yeah, let's live dangerously. What are we up against? Oh, more removal. Cloud? Oh, okay, Zach. Well. Let's get this down tapped. We'll take a hit from Zach. Are you sacking the Basilisk Collar to something? They're being very tentative. I mean, I'm glad they played that before we played our Unholy Annex. Speaking of which, we will play out now. There's a 4th land for our Archfiend. Oh, it's a little triggers deck. At least let me have 1 trigger with it. Play that on Demon and we'll get down our Archfiend. Obviously, we won't be able to block any of their things. But next turn, we probably Virtue something. Probably the Delny. And go for the Throat of Zach Fair. Let's see if another Lauren, kind of annoying. What we could do is hold up, go for the throat to take out Downey when they attack next turn. So we can like ambush block something. So we'll probably play out a Carsey Revenant. I don't think I've ever seen Taz replayed. You can't equip at instant speed. We'll play out the Revenant. We do have to attack in with our Arch-themed. The stick will be Lauren drawing. And we'll hold up, go for the throat to take out Downey. But what do they have in the meantime? If they don't take out Archfiend of the Vadros or Unholy Annex, we've probably just won. Fine, we'll take out Tazri then. Don't even have to play shouldered now. In fact, we didn't have to before. We have 9 on the board. I only have 1 black mana. They could have given it indestructible. Which I forgot about, and clearly so did they. I luckily I've not drawn once with Lauren. I know giving your opponent cards is not everyone's best idea of a good idea, but when you have 2 cards and your opponent has 7, 6, 7, you know, giving them 1 extra card is not going to make a huge amount of difference, whereas it could make a lot of difference to you. Are they drawing now? Okay, if they had waited another turn before playing out Lauren, then they could have destroyed our Unholy Annex. There we go. Well, with Unholy Annex and an Archfiend, I would like a cheaper demon. We've got enough 2 mana ones. But the shoulder's pretty good as well. Well, there is a 2-mana one. Oh, there's a stick. Counterspell? No, just a deduce. Is this Omniscience? You don't see Omniscience a huge amount in non-ranked. Oh, let's go for it. Should have done that second main phase. I need to get better at that. Or maybe it's just straight up control. Let's get down the Archfiend. Uncounterable. We do need to start a clock. They are deducing again. Yeah, it's not omniscience. Deduce doesn't let you discard. I think next turn we get down the Speed Demon. Oh good, that's a lot of life gain. Right, we will play out the Speed Demon before combat. That way we can get up to another speed. But obviously there is a chance we die to our own Archfiend. So we're looking for a go for the throat. Well, that kind of helps, I suppose. Well, let's get down our Unholy Annex then. And we'll get down at Midgar City of Mako. Oh, it's a Simulacrum deck. Well, that's a bit of an issue. We'll do this on Praetor. This isn't the best use of mana, I don't think, but let's get down our Archfiend. Obviously, Go for the Throat can't take out their constructs. That's really not helping. Well, that's good. We don't have any... We've got Rakshasa in there, but... Well, what we do is we... Second Annex. Well, it might have a counter. We'll attack in. They might have a bounce. Yep. So we'll just play it out. Hit him down to 15. Well, that's going to be a problem. Let's get down Sheoldred. And let's attack in. These clicky sounds are really annoying. This means when they attack with them, they lose them. But chances are they can probably just run us over. Obviously, if they're removal for Sheoldred, we are just dead. But we're up to 32, so... They're down to 3. I mean, I think that we've won just now. We're down to 4. But they're down to minus something. Yeah, and they scoop. We did have fun. Opponent goes first. I would have liked a Unholy Annex, obviously. The shoulder's pretty good. So we're not really a moldable spells a turn kind of deck. What are they discarding? Joshua. Let's get out a Revenant. We'll hold back. They will be able to sack the High Noon and take out Sheoldred. It's a shame this reactor raid isn't instant speed. And we do have a backup Sheoldred. I think the Archfiend's a bigger clock. Because they do lose life. Second High Noon. Play this on Demon. And yeah, they could take out Sheoldred with one of their High Noons, but then we just play another one, and they need to take out the Archfiend or hope we can't damage them for a few turns. Well, we have a Rakshasa, we have an Archfiend, and we have an Unholy Annex. No removal though. but hopefully we can draw into some. Putting away up the beanstalk suggests they have another one. Well, we're going to get a Unholy Annex trigger. New attacks. Next turn we can get down an Archfiend and attack him with the Rakshasa. What are they up to? Nothing. Well, let's see. If they have removal, that we want them to use it on this. But let us get down an Archfiend, which I think they have removal for. Yep. Oh, they're on the Knights of the Round Una deck. Well, that's a speed demon. So we need to start holding up removal for Una. And I think Una has Ward 2. Even though they do seem to be a couple of lands away. Now they can cast Una next turn. Let's get down another Unholy Annex and hold up our Go for the Throat. And our opponent scoops, they're going to go down to 5. If they don't have Una, they're pretty much just dead. But if they do have Una, we would have Go for the Throat ready for her. Well, I think we can keep this. We have some removal, we have some demons. We do need to find our Unholy Annex. We will cut down straight away. And probably go for the throat turn 2. Yep. The problem is 1-to-1 is not going to do a huge amount, especially if they have another challenger and start ripping through their deck. Yeah, now we don't have removal for that. And if I have a... Well, we do have removal now. They have a Monstrous Rage. Which would put it out of cut down range. go. Now, one creature can't block, but and our opponent scoops. Hello Magic fans and welcome back to a very quick wrap up. So if I was building this deck again, I wouldn't make a huge amount of changes. I would take out Midgar, City of Mako. We just don't ever cast the Reactor Raid side of it. So you can easily just put in a couple more swamps and have, you know, no issue with it coming in tapped. If we're in a more sacrifice deck, or if it was at instant speed, I would play it more. But it being 3 mana at sorcery speed just whiffs a bit. Also probably take out Speed Demon, but there's not much more we need to put in. Probably put in a couple of Ghost Vacuums if you're going to play this in the ladder. I only played it in the play queue, and you don't really see Omniscience too much in the play queue. And I think if you take out Speed Demon, you might be able to drop down a land or two. We are at 24 lands, so maybe take out both Midgar, City of Mako, put in 1 swamp, take out the Speed Demons, put in maybe 2 or 3 Ghost Vacuums. But obviously it's really well set up against the aggro decks, because obviously we have enough removal in Cut Down and Go for the Throat, and even a couple of Virtues of Persistence can take out our opponent's creatures. And Virtue of Persistence does gain life as well, and Casty Revenant can gain life, especially if we put some tokens on the Archfiend of Adros or even Sholdred. So a pretty well-rounded deck that works well against the aggro deck. Said, you know, it's not built for the graveyard decks, but that's an easy fix. And also Sholdred will be, I think Sholdred's going to be returning out of standard pretty soon, and I think I speak for a lot of people who say good riddance. Sholdred is just probably the best 4-drop ever printed, and it's just, I think it went through a lull for a bit, but it's come back a bit more as well. So it is an absolutely bonkers card. I think it's probably the only card in Magic that if you play out Sholdred and no one then does anything for the rest of the game, you still win. So interesting to see if anyone has any views on that. If there's any other card where if no one does anything, you still win, because Sholdred definitely does. But a fun deck, a fun update to the Demon deck. And as I said in the deck check, look, stick around in a week or so's time. We're playing a much more, I say advanced, but expensive, looking at Arden, which can get cards back from the graveyard and make some demons. So look out for that in a few weeks. But in the meantime, I'd like to thank my creature level patron Thomas. Thank you very much for your support. Everyone else, thank you very much for your support. Please leave a comment down below, and I'll see you all in the next video.